My name is Garrett Shakstad. I'm an audit senior at Squar Milner, and I work in our West LA office. Squar Milner is a firm headquartered in Newport Beach, California. We have offices in San Diego, West LA, and then we also have an office in Encino, as well as we have an office in the Cayman Islands, but that's a much smaller office that is not one of our main offices. So the interesting thing about the firm is it feels small. Like everybody knows everyone for the most part, but then at the same time as the firm is small, it's also big enough where we have jobs around the world. We have public jobs. We have all different sizes and we have different sizes of jobs and different places to go, which is not like a smaller firm. So on the one hand, it feels very small. On the other hand, it's as big as you want it to be, and you can travel as far as you want to go. Working here has been interesting because as far as the actual work that we do, on some level, it's going to be exactly the same as work at a big four or a mid-sized firm or a regional firm or whatever. The audit work is, auditing cash is still auditing cash. Auditing accounts receivable and revenue is still largely the same thing. I think where it gets a little bit different and interesting is you do get to work on bigger jobs. I think it starts to get a little bit different in terms of the client mix that you get. And a lot of times, one of my favorite things about the job has been, it's very interesting to find the ways that people make money. And there are things that I would have never thought about. Like we have a client that they make racks that flowers go on. And out of college, this is something where I would have no interest in this. It's not on my radar at all. But then when you start working, you find out, okay, they make hundreds or thousands of these racks, and they make a lot of money for making these racks. It's something I would have never thought of that was kind of fun and interesting to work on. And that can come from a small firm, a medium firm, a big firm, but it's interesting to see you run into clients like that all the way to, there are clients we have that are restaurant groups that are, I've eaten at these restaurants before I started working at the firm, and now I work here and we audit them. So it's everything from unknown to clients that I do know. I've really enjoyed working here and seeing that there are different places. There's so many different places, you could go. You could go from an audit position to in-house somewhere. You could go audit position to the tax department if you really wanted to. You could go to recruiting. You could go to finance. You could go to, HR. There's so many different places that you can go. And I think at the smaller firm, it's more of an all hands on deck approach. It's not quite as siloed, and the job descriptions, I guess, aren't as exact or specific. I mean, they are to a certain degree, but if I wanted to go help out with our, office admin for arranging the next, firm event, I could go upstairs and I could do that. No one would tell you you can't do that. That's not your department. If you just do things, it's encouraged. It took me a while to fully understand working in accounting. Was at first you're very concerned with what you're doing, and you should be. Once you gain a little bit of experience and confidence in your own abilities, you start to realize that there's a somewhat bigger picture. And so the big four accounting firms are established. They are the big guys on the block. They're going to be the big guys on the block for the foreseeable future. I'm hesitant to use the word plateau, but these businesses are already mature and established, if you remember the accounting books and textbooks from school and the terms they use. Squar Milner, on the other hand, is a firm that's growing and ascending. And it's a totally different experience to be with a company that's already kind of up at the top, just humming along. But for a firm that's kind of doing this, to be on the ride as the firm is growing and expanding has been a unique experience that I didn't know I would have an opportunity to do. And so being around the kind of growth and expansion that I have it's a lot of fun. It's energetic, and it's really, you can feel the impact that you make on a daily basis to the culture and growth of the firm, which is not an experience that I think comes along every day. And that was one of the reasons I decided to work here, and having worked here, it's one of the things that I've really enjoyed. When I first started with the firm, so I'm in the start of my 4th year right now. The first year with the firm, the managing partner of our office approached me and said, "Hey, do you think college students would be more attracted to our firm if we offered some sort of an exchange program?" My immediate response was yes. I like traveling. I was the first person, along with a guy in the tax department in our Newport Beach office, to do the exchange, and that was really fun for me because I felt like there was a lot of interest in this program, both from the partners at our firm and from the partners at Cooper Perry, which was the firm in England that we exchanged with. Their firm had done this a lot with a lot of different firms internationally, so we were the ones that were kind of new to the whole concept, and it was a blast. I really had a great time doing it. The job that I remember the most there were 2 jobs. There's a grocery store company that we worked on that was pretty cool, but then there's we were staying in Nottingham, England, which is 2 hours north of London approximately, and we audited a high school in Nottingham that was like 500 years old. Like, the charter, I think, was signed by King Henry VIII. And it was mind-blowing because you're sitting here looking at this building and they go, "Oh, this is one of the newer buildings. It was built in the 1800s. And for the United States, that's different. But specifically for Southern California, we really don't have a whole lot of history that's that old in Southern California. And so here I am standing in front of this, stone building that stood here for hundreds of years, and I'm getting to audit this school. And to think about all of the people who have come through those doors over the hundreds of years in England was, for me, really fun. And so I don't think I'll ever forget that. My name is Garrett Shakstad. I'm an audit senior at Squar Milner in Los Angeles, and our firm is growing, and we are hiring. And to learn more about our firm, check out accountingfly.com.